Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome back to HOI4 as we are playing as the Byzantine Empire. So I went ahead and used the console and annexed that Soviet Union province that Trotsky was in and gave it to our subject. Just kind of fixed the map because it's just kind of strange, and frankly that was my fault. I made a mistake in the peace treaty. I pulled the wrong province out and then nobody took it because we completely surrounded it, so nobody wanted it. So that was my mistake in the peace treaty. But yeah, I also went ahead and changed up our plane situation, moved more planes into this area, got some more air wings going, and we also are going to start bombing over here. Only 18 planes for now, but they should reinforce. So yeah, change that up a little bit, and we should hopefully have more success because of that. Yeah, you can see we're having a bit more success. Also, one thing I noticed is that our fleets were traveling from too far. So yeah, this guy's coming all the way from the Mediterranean. And so I went ahead and moved these guys closer. So they're coming over here now. And then we're also going to want to do the same with these guys once they finish up their current battle, because they're going to get involved here. But yeah, they're just too far away to be able to get to the battles in time. Now, we're going to miss a lot of the stuff that happens here. What really matters is just that we get their fleet sunk. I shot down some planes there. Yeah, we just need to get this fleet sunk here. Although I don't think they'll be able to stop us. Really what we're waiting for is letting these guys train up here. I don't even know if we'll wait that much longer. Probably just do the invasion here soon. And somebody needs to finish this up. Let's go ahead and have these guys come back here, and then we'll take just one of them, have them take that over. Looks like too many divisions coming from over here. Alright, there we go. So that should look pretty good. So yeah, just trying to get all this taken over. And we can go after their capital in Helsinki. Let's see if we can't get that conquered. And at least we have something to do here. Although supply is a pretty major issue here. We might want to build a supply hub. Let's see what the situation looks like here. So it looks like the problem is that this is not connected to the fact that we are still getting control of the rails. Okay, so we might not need anything. Let me just make sure that these guys are currently using the trucks. They are. Okay. So I just wanted to confirm that we didn't need to fix anything there. Yeah, I'm thinking if any of these guys are close to being done, we'll let them finish up. It really doesn't matter that much. Yeah, I don't think we're going to wait any longer. We just got the Macedonian generals. Alright, so let's go ahead and just get this one here. 70 days to get that knocked out. And unfortunately not getting their fleet destroyed. You know, we're sinking a lot of convoys, which is obviously very helpful, but yeah, we want to get the fleet destroyed. Alright, so we've already taken the capital there. Moving very quick with these troops. I don't want to give AI control though. I think that would not go well. They'd probably muck it up. This front is definitely one where you just don't want to advance relentlessly, especially until we get control of those rails there. Let's see how we did over here. Yeah, just another convoy sunk. Alright, so still, it's mostly plane battles and convoy sinking. We're not engaging that fleet. Sunk a destroyer there. Okay, there's something. Shot a bunch of planes down. Yeah, still trying to get this fleet engaged. It's not a huge deal or anything. These guys are at 94%. So once they finish up, then we'll go ahead and Baltic Unitary State has capitulated. Alright, excellent. So this front is now done. Okay, I wasn't expecting to get that done. Do we need equipment at all? Anywhere? I think everything's pretty much good for the most part. It's mainly planes. So I think we just need to keep on pumping into the planes here, guys. So that's what we'll do. And now we're just going to need to destroy the troops that remain here. Alright, so going after those victory points worked out nicely for us. And these guys will stay here. Try and get this guy coming over here. We'll attack with these ones. And right there. So there is a little bit of space up there. So we'll go ahead and send these guys over there. Anybody who's nearby and not doing anything. And there are some fronts over here as well. Okay, let's go and attack those guys. Alright, so we knew about this one. We've already got those troops doing their thing. And then we'll also have some fronts over here that we'll probably want to get taken care of. We did get the construction, so we'll go after that excavation next. Let us build a little bit quicker. Alright, so that's good that we got this done. So now we can just concentrate on the invasion of the British. So that's excellent news. Let's go and have some troops come over here. And then we'll also need troops to go over that way. In fact, let's have some troops set up to do that now. And we even give them a little front here. And hopefully somebody gets that taken care of. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. Alright, so we just need to wrap this up. These guys come on over here. Alright, so he's going over there already. Let's have these two troops wipe out that unit. Okay, so apparently the Americans are pushing this front forward. Alright. I didn't actually want to push the front forward, but whatever. Whatever. I should have set them up. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point. If they want to push the front forward, we'll help garrison it, but yeah, I'm not gonna actually do anything over there, guys. 3 destroyers sunk there. Alright, another one sunk here. So we're sinking some of the ships. Okay, so that's what we need. Another one sunk there. Oh yeah. Okay. So getting the British fleet destroyed. What's left of it? Obviously, we already outnumber them. And then, of course, there's just all these troops here. Alright, so just trying to wrap this up. And have those guys attack there. And let me see how we're doing over here. Getting this guy finished up. So he's at 89%. We're not going to wait for him, though. We got the other guy done that we wanted to. And that's enough for me. So let's go ahead and let them get their organization back up. And then we'll launch those invasions, guys. And try and get the British destroyed. Let's bring these guys over here. We actually have a lot coming over here, so let's bring them over here then. And then we should be able to finish this up too. There we go, beautiful. And bring these guys over this way. Alright, so all these guys are moving to this one, so let's move them over here. Because there's really only one unit there. And then, yeah, these guys can all come up over here. Because I think this is plenty what we currently have going over there. Alright, so we're just waiting for organization to get back up. These guys are almost there. Alright, yeah, this is looking good here. And then we'll see who's successful. I've already brought the tanks over here. They're currently training up. But yeah, we'll just send them over to the first, like, successful invasion. Alright, so let's have this guy take this province. And obviously they're creating a little bit of a problem here, pushing forward. But you know what? I kind of want them to have a port to send troops to. So they'll continue to put troops in the sea rather than just sitting here and defending their own ports. So it's not a bad thing that there's still a front over there. It's actually very much a good thing. And we got that night vision. All right, that'll be really helpful for those invasions. And, I mean, we're still not in 1944, as crazy as that is. We are not in 1944 yet. So a lot of stuff we need here. I guess we can go after that last mountain infantry one. I don't think we'll even get it done in time. Because again, I think this won't take very long to get the British wiped out, as long as we don't have trouble with the invasions, which that could be a problem. We just don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know if we'll have any issues getting them defeated. Alright, so they should be ready to go. Let's take a look at the seas. Like, how are we doing controlling? We have complete control. Alright, excellent. So let's go and launch these invasions then. And yeah, we'll send both armies. Obviously, these guys here don't need that front anymore, but if they win, we'll send the entire Purple Army to that front. If they're successful in their invasion. Oh, the Americans have already launched an invasion. Alright, well, that's a shame. I was hoping to be the one to get all the points here, but it looks like the Americans got over here first. I didn't realize they had already launched one. Well, we got our own going. and we'll take all these ports over. This one will be obviously successful. So there we go. All right. So let's go ahead and bring the tanks in. Just stop their training here, and then give them. You know, actually, yeah, we'll give them this front here, and then we'll give these guys an order as well. And I don't think we're gonna do much over here. Let me just, you know, if we got openings, we'll take advantage of those. Supply is obviously gonna be a huge problem here. And cut those guys off. And we'll just do all these attacks here just so that it's done. Alright, we'll bring this guy over here and have him sack that. Because, yeah, I'm just not going to concentrate on this all that much, obviously, because the only thing that matters is the invasion. I sunk 2 more destroyers there. Yeah, that's pretty much the end of the British. I didn't expect it to be too difficult. But I also didn't expect the Americans to be the first, man. I don't want them to be the ones to get all the points here. Alright, so that's kind of a bummer, because they got London, so they got all those points from that. Actually, you know what? Let's have these guys go up this way. Alright, so we're advancing. Let's go up here, and then we've got plenty of units to take care of all this for us. So we'll have them do that, and the rest of these are going to storm over here. Up into that province. And he'll go this way. They actually have somebody defending here in the north. 1 division won't be enough to stop us. And so now we need to move our planes. Do we have a air base over here? We do. Alright, so now we need to move these planes. No, it'll have to be this one here. So move our planes over here. We'll have these guys instead bomb up in Scotland and get us some more points. And then anybody who's doing the port strike will move over here and instead do the close air support. And then we have all these close air support over here that we can move. We'll just leave that guy over here because he's kind of cruddy. And then they can come in here and do close air support for us. Alright, so that looks good. And then probably move a few fighters as well. Probably not going to be as much concentration here in the English Channel anymore. Alright, so make sure we try and get control of the skies here. And yeah, it's just a matter of trying to get as many points as we can. At this point, let's get across the river there. We already won here. And we're waiting for that invasion to finish up. Let's go and attack that way. Push forward over here as well. And we'll worry about getting the fronts dealt with later. Not too worried about it, guys. Alright, so still waiting for the Purple Army to get over here. And once they do, we'll send the entire Purple Army. Not that we really need them here, honestly. They'll probably just exhaust supply anyway. So maybe we shouldn't send any additional ones, because what we have here is going to be fine. Still waiting for the tanks to get across as well. And you know what? We don't actually want to push forward in their territory, so you know what? Let's stop that. So let's go ahead and go this way. And just only advance from our own territory. Because, yeah, we can get control of all this with these units here. So we'll shoot through here. Have this guy go over here. And then these guys come over this way. Alright, so everybody's pushing forward there. We'll kind of make adjustments as we go. But yeah, only advance from our own territory here. And this is a bit of a problem, isn't it? Okay, let's put them all on one front here. Alright, let me grab everybody and make sure they're all on one front. There we go. And then we'll recreate the line there. It looks like we just took this as well. Alright, excellent. So let's go ahead and start pushing north. And yeah, kind of a bummer that it went down this way where they got a little bit of territory. But it's funny that the Americans are over here invading the British. You know, actually we're going to send all those guys over here and send these ones down this way. But yeah, I think it's funny that they're over here invading the British. Alright, so yeah, we won't advance from their territory, so that way we get full control of everything ourselves. And then these guys can push over this way. Go get wells taken over, and we should be removing our tanks too, now that those are here. And then make sure these guys are moving forward. Push up that way. Don't need to do it this way. Let's have them go over here. Alright, so yeah, very rapid advance here. Nice, easy, rapid advance. Going very well. And so yeah, they'll be capitulating soon. I didn't even use our cipher here. So let's use it now. So yeah, we'll use it on them. I did set the operatives here. We had 3 operatives here at the time. But obviously we've taken over all that territory. So I did have operatives here. So I got that done at least. And you know what? Let's have a front critted over here. The tanks. They'll come over there and help us out. You know, let's make sure these tanks go over there. This is where it really matters for us to be advancing. So yeah, that'll be taken over fairly quick. Right, let's go push forward here. I don't really care who gets there first, just get there. Not even worried about cutting troops off. I mean, this is just super easy. British didn't have enough to really stop us. Oh, man, we didn't conquer that much either. So that is the peace treaty, guys. And the end of all of our wars. Now, the Allies had a lot of stuff. Now, we got a ton of points. So that's really helpful for us because there's so much of this that was Allied territory. And we want it as much as we can get. So yeah, all this is Allied territory. So, I don't know how much we'll be able to do. But obviously we should prioritize certain things. It's very clear we should prioritize taking over core territory. So let's go ahead and do that. But yeah, I'm a little worried we won't be able to do as much as I'd like to do. Because there's just too much. There's just too much to do. But we'll try. We'll try and get it all. So let's go through here. We didn't do Italy yet. Italy's pretty important. So let's make sure we get that. I mean, we're going to have enough points to get all this. I'm more worried about the Russia situation. And that we won't be able to get all of Russia. But I don't know that the Japanese will be interested in it. If we can just cut off the coast, then we should be good to go. All right, so we got all this taken over. So that worked out nicely. Oh, we didn't do Egypt. So let's go ahead and do Egypt. And we're only wanting control of Egypt. So again, just right here. And leave this open for Japan and America to deal with. You know, we'll go after it if there's points to do so. But that's really not what we care about. We care about adding the territory to Germany and adding the territory to Russia. So I think the priority should be coastal territory. So for instance, in here in Germany here, I'd love to give this to Denmark, but they don't have a core here and they're not even part of the peace treaty. Now, yeah, there'd be no way to do that outside of doing it with the consul. I was going to say maybe we could take it and give it to them, but yeah, they'd have to have a core to do that. So yeah, there's nothing we can do but give it to Germany. So let's give these to Germany. This coastal territory, and I'm hoping nobody will care about this. Like, why would Japan or United States want this? You would hope. But yeah, because we can't get everything. We have to prioritize. So let's get this coastline for Poland. Though, you do have the weird situation here where this is only German. Yeah, We're going to have to give Germany the coastline then. That's interesting that they'll let me give this to Germany. Maybe because we weren't... Because, oh, okay, I see. It's only when you're trying to... I got it. Okay, so we can do it through here and give them whatever territory. So yeah, if Denmark was at war with the Allies, which again they weren't, then we would be able to give it to them. Okay. So you can do it normally and build them however you want. Alright, so in this case, we could give this to Poland. Give all this to Poland. Give them a coastline. I'm not really keen to giving Germany too much. Remember, we fought Germany. We never fought Poland. I know a few people wanted me to like give Alsace-Lorraine back to Germany, but why? I know they're our puppet, but Germany is an enemy. We fought them. We never fought France. France was never an enemy of ours. Same thing with Poland here. We didn't really ever fight them. Well, technically, for a time, they're part of the Soviets faction. But yeah, they're not really an enemy like Germany was. So I feel like we should give this all to Poland. And I'm looking for Poland. And having no success finding them. Here we go. They're at the bottom. Of course they're at the bottom. Where else would they be? So let's go ahead and give them just coastline. Again, just try and get the coastline for them. And then we'll probably cut them off right here. And just give them... I mean, might as well finish Poland. But then the question is, should we give them any additional territory here? I feel like maybe giving them some of this, even though it's not really theirs. Kind of like a Poland-Lithuania situation. Yeah. It's going to look weird no matter what. But then you can give them this one. So let's go ahead and do that. That's what I'm thinking. This all goes to Poland here. And that's where you cut them off. Now, this could be part of Lithuania as well. But then you get, Poland, Lithuania, I mean. But then you get a weird situation here. So I don't think we're going to do it anymore. Then there's Memel. We'll probably give that to whoever we give this to, or whoever gets it. I don't really know what's going to happen there, because it's not going to be a priority of ours. So we got this taken care of. Now I feel like we need to do this. And then I guess there's this as well, which you want to give to this Russia. So let's, now that Poland's done, let's work on Russia. Also, there's this little patch of territory here, but I'm going to let... Because, yeah, Spain was at war with the Allies. I'm going to let Spain have that if they want it. And we could take it for them, too. But let's let them use their own damn points for it, obviously. Because I don't know... With the new peace treaty, I assume it's still going to use your points. Even if you're taking it for Spain. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I suppose you could always test it. Let me take a look here. So we have 3294. They have 594. Nope. Uses your points. Okay, that's what you'd think. Because otherwise you could use their points to, take something stupid. But that'd be kind of cool if you had complete control of their points, but I understand why you don't. All right, so first we need to take the territory for ourselves, which we're going to take over all this here, guys. I thought about releasing them, but it just looks kind of weird with what we have. And so, yeah, this is all going to us. And the Byzantine Empire did have a lot of control up in this area for a while. They often had, like, subject states here. And again, we're turning the Black Sea into our sea, since you couldn't do it with the Mediterranean. And so we're trying to make it look decent. So we want to take all this over. And then obviously you'd have to get that one, and then probably that one. You're probably going to have like a weird situation here. I don't know that we'll be able to get, because then you got to keep taking more. I suppose you could take these. Yeah, whatever. We'll get all that, and then you can take this one here. It just keeps forcing you to take more, though, doesn't it? To make it look nice. But I think that's the way it's going to look for us. This is all going to be our territory, guys. But yeah, I think it makes sense. And then this here would go to Russia. As well as pretty much all this would all go to Russia. We could release countries here, but we already kind of messed it up with this. So it's just all going to go to Russia, guys. I probably should have done that before when we were dealing with this. I didn't know what we were going to get and what we weren't going to get. So yeah, we'll just give it all to Russia. Russia lost a bunch of territory. So now let's find them. Which, let's check at the bottom. All right, so we have the two different Russias. This one's ours. So let's go ahead and do this territory here. Hopefully I don't mess this up at all. We will see. And we should be focusing on the coast. I do want to connect this, though, just in case something weird happens. So we'll give all that to them. Yeah, let's finish this, because this will look really weird if anything happens, or if they try and like puppet somebody here. So let's go and take all that. And then this will have to, obviously that would look weird as well, but let's go for the coastline. And we're going to want to probably take over up to here, is what I'm thinking. And then you create Maybe this one as well. No, that would look weird. So this would be whatever this ends up being. I guess we're just going to have a Baltic unitary state. I don't know if they'll still be called that. That's a fascist country, I believe. So yeah, I think we're just going to give all this to that one country, the Baltic unitary state. Yeah, that makes sense. So there still will be a Baltic unitary state, but they will not own Finland. As far as this here, this is probably going to go to Finland. But before we finish with this, maybe we should create Finland now. Because yeah, that's all coastal territory too. So we'll come back to Russia in a minute. Let's get this coastal territory taken. And this here we'll have to deal with, I don't know, maybe next turn. I don't know if we're going to have points to get it done. So we need to come back to ourselves so that we can go ahead and puppet. There's the Baltic unitary state. But I want to do Finland. So let's go and satellite Finland. There's not a choice to puppet them. And not seeing one. Again, I'm not entirely sure what controls. We talked about this with a previous peace treaty. What controls whether you can puppet or satellite or whatever. But a lot of times you'll see options for both. So yeah, we'll just go and satellite Finland. We'll start with this. And then we're going to give them this one as well. And I don't really know if we're going to deal with Norway and Sweden. We will have to see. And I kind of want to give as much as we can to Finland. But it's going to have to be core territory, of course. And so this is not core territory, so we'll give that to Russia. So yeah, that's the reason why I wanted to get Finland done, is so that we can see what our borders look like here for Russia. All right, so now we're going back to take state, and we got to find Russia again. And then get them the rest of this, so that the Japanese don't do it, or the Americans. All right, so that all goes to them. We still have a few points, so we could finish up Russia. But I'm not really worried about them taking this here. And so let's go ahead and deal with the Baltic unitary state next, and Germany. You can do that too. There's so much to do. We're obviously, as I said, we're not going to have points to do all of this turn. We expected that. And so now we need to puppet the Baltic unitary state and get the coastline taken for them first. I guess that's coastline too, isn't it? Probably just going to have to take over all this. I mean, because you might as well. There's barely anything left. So get all that taken for the Baltic unitary state. So now we have Russia left. And yeah, I guess you just let Japan take that. I assume they'll take it for Sweden and Norway. So yeah, we have Russia left, Germany, and Belgium. That's what I'm seeing still remaining. Making sure there's nothing that we missed here before we spend the rest of our points. Okay. So I suppose we'll do... Yeah, I kind of want to puppet Belgium, so let's go ahead and do that, although that is expensive. Jeez, why? Alright, well, let's go and do it. That's going to be the majority of our points now. We have a little bit left. So we can try and do Germany, or we can do Russia. Yeah, I'm not too worried about them messing Russia up, you would think. So let's do Germany just to get it done. So we were able to do one there. Let me see if there's anything we can get for 20 points for the Russians. You would think so. Yeah, these aren't all that expensive. There we go. Take all that over. All right, so that's what we were able to get done. So let's go and submit our demands. We're going to contest all of these, obviously. And that's what we got left here. So I'm not seeing anything done over here. Britain, again, is not a priority. I kind of want... I think it'd be funny if the Americans took over Britain. Maybe we'll give that to them. I got Finland done. Russia's good. And they are contesting this territory. That's interesting. They want that. Okay. Everybody wants Crimean territory. And Japan did take territory over here. Damn you, Japan. You're always messing with my stuff, man. Alright, so let's finish Russia up. we'll just annex that territory from them. Because that's stupid. They shouldn't be able to get that. In the middle of Russia, our Russia. I hate how the AI does it now. It seems like they no longer care about having coastal territory or territory that connects with them like they used to. That was one way you used to be able to, obviously block them off. And so it was one way that players exploited the system. But it made sense. And now it seems like they don't care anymore. So that's a bummer that they did it that way. We got to finish up Germany too, since clearly you can't block them off anymore. So let's give Germany the rest of their territory. So that's done. And so now we still have a lot of points. So I suppose we can do Britain. So I think to start with that, we should puppet Ireland. If I can find them. Here they are. And that's a satellite them. But you can see if there's a puppet for Ireland, but probably not. Most of these seem to be satellite. Okay. And we're going to let the Americans and the Japanese fight over Asia and Africa. We're just focusing on this area of Europe, which is going to be our sphere of influence. But yeah, isn't there still territory available here? Yeah, like why didn't they take India? That's just the AI, man. They come over here and mess with my territory in Russia rather than do stuff in Asia. Doesn't make any sense. I feel like they're just trying to harass me. All right, so let's go ahead and take all this for Ireland. It'd be really funny if we gave Ireland control of all this. Yeah, that would be funny. You know what? This is what we're going to do. We're going to break this apart a bit. Yeah, let's do that, guys. So this is going to go to Ireland. But we need to find Scotland and Wales. See if we can't find them. I don't know if you can even break them apart. We'll see. You would assume so. Yeah, there's Wales. So let's give them that. And then we're looking for Scotland now. If we can find them. I assume there is, since they had a Welsh state. They gotta have a Scottish state here. Is there any like sorting to this? I mean, there's no method of the madness here. So here we go. I just passed them. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and satellite Scotland as well. Now with the rest of Britain, I want to give it to America because I think it'd be funny. The former colonies have taken them over. So let's go ahead and do the take state, and then we need to do it through here. So we're gonna find the United States. They're probably at the top. There we go. Confederation here. Well, it's a bummer they don't have Cornwall or anything here. All right, so this is all gonna go to the United States. Just gotta think it's silly. All right, so we'll take that over for America. And, oh yes, we didn't deal with this over here. So this can either go to Finland or the Baltic Unitary State. I guess we'll do, let's go back to us over here. I suppose we'll give it to Finland. Yeah, we'll go to Finland. Because we never fought them. We did fight the Baltic Unitary State. So we need to find them in here. There we go. All right, so give that to them. And I suppose this has already been dealt with. So that's good. So what is it, just Africa now? Maybe not. Oh, yeah, there's a little bit of territory down here. So I suppose you just probably just subjugate them. Yeah, we'll just subjugate them. I don't know what else we'd do here. I don't really want to annex this territory. Yeah, I don't really care about any of this. So we'll probably start with like South Africa, is what I'm thinking. So let's go ahead and subjugate them. With whatever points we have remaining here. So yeah, we'll go ahead and give them all this territory. I'll tell you what, it's kind of a pain about doing it this way. I wish you could just like click on them, but if you do, then it's like you're puppeting the British. That's the only way They did it. So yeah, kind of a bummer. Oh, can't afford it. Okay, so I think that's it. All right, so let's go and submit our demands. I mean, you could like try and take Navy, but yeah, I think 12 points isn't going to be much for anything. And then we're going to want to go ahead and contest all those. We do have the most points, so we shouldn't have any issues getting the stuff we want, guys. All right, so that's what Britain looks like, the British Isles. And so it looks like all this is dealt with the exception of the contested territory. Yeah, all of Europe is dealt with. And so we'll just continue working on Africa while the Japanese conquer India. Yeah, because all this has also been dealt with. I suppose there's British Malaya. Let's annex that for ourselves. So we'll never have rubber problems again. So we're going to go ahead and annex that for ourselves. I think that makes sense. And then I suppose we're going to continue dealing with Africa. So let's go back to the puppeting. I mean, if you liberated it, you might just be able to click on them. Yeah, you can click on them this way. Well, that's interesting. We don't want to liberate them. We want to puppet them, though. Yeah, it's a bummer you can't just do that. But yeah, if you click, it switches to puppet in the British Empire. So it is what it is. So let's go ahead and have... Let me make sure I did annex this. Yeah, okay. So I'll make sure I didn't puppet them because we want to annex it. Even though I said we're going to stay out of Asia, we need rubber. All right, so we could go ahead and take over... Oh, this is contested here. All right, so somebody's contesting it. The Spanish Empire is contesting it. I see. All right, so we're going to try and give that to Malawi. If I can find them in here. It's just a pain in the butt dealing with it like this. They should put it in alphabetical order or something. I don't know. There's got to be some way they sort this. I mean, is there no sorting mechanic in? Yeah, I guess not. If you guys know, maybe I'm doing this inefficiently. Let me know, because, yeah, this is a pain in the butt. I'd like to give this all to one country. So it needs to be Italo-Ethiopian Somalia. Oh, but you can't do that one. Nope. I don't think there's any way to do just one of them. Yeah, no matter what, you're going to have some issues here. Okay. So I suppose we'll just have a separate states here. So let's go like this. And give them that, and then we'll have like a separate Ethiopia. Which this also has to be a separate state, so you take that. And then, yeah, you just give this to Ethiopia. Then we have the Sudan. So you get this taken over for them. There we go, beautiful. And so it looks like it's just one more left here. Kenya. We could also give that to them, but I think it looks better if you give it to Kenya. So let's see if we can't find them. Probably gonna be a pain. There, they're higher up. Of course they're gonna be a pain to find. So I really hope, I don't know if anybody's provided feedback on this yet to Paradox, but man, I really hope they adjust this. I just found it and then I lost it. There we go. But yeah, I really hope they adjust this. I think that's already been dealt with. All right, so I went ahead and granted these territories their freedom, kind of. Freedom underneath us. However, we can't do this one because there's already Yemen. And so we can't, I mean, we could release it to them, like take it and release it to them. But yeah, let's just go ahead and annex this for ourselves. Because, you know, it makes sense that you'd want a path to our territory over here. And so yeah, we're just going to annex this as all kind of like our attempt to have a nice sea path to this territory. Now, I don't know if there's anything the Allies had over here for us to deal with. A lot of countries in the Allies. I think that's it, guys. There might be some territory out there that we don't care about. But yeah, I think that's it that we actually want to deal with. Not sure who took over all this territory here. Americans maybe? Japanese? Could be either one. I think we're done with still some remaining points, so it should be pretty easy for us to make sure we get all the stuff that we want. Alright, so let's go and submit our demands. And then contest everything. Until they can't fight with us anymore about this. They're slowly kind of giving up on it. There we go, last little patch of territory here. And that should be it. Oh, they really want that. Who is this? America fighting with us over this? Jesus. There we go. So we're sitting on 10,000 points now. And I don't think there's anything else that we want to do, guys. I think we're good to go. So let's go ahead and confirm and exit. And then we'll take a look at the world. And also, we'll need to fix this situation over here. Also, it seems I might have taken this for myself on accident. Yeah, I didn't have the right thing selected. I knew it would mess it up eventually, all that stuff we had to do there. I mean, none of this really matters here. We'll just see if we sunk any big ships. Nope. Okay, so let's go get rid of all that. Have some decisions available if we wanted to develop some oil fields. So yeah, what we want to do is just go ahead and use the console here. As I did before, as you guys see there, I always use the debug so that I can see the tags, because this is not the typical Soviet tab. It's not SOV because the Soviet tag was already existed. So this is D06 so that we know who we need to give that to. So we're going to do set owner, and we want to have the state selected. And then it's going to be D06. And can you copy and paste? It doesn't look like you can copy it. Oh, there we go. We selected that way. This would be far easier. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, we'll give all this back to the Soviets, or to the Russians. Now, we could of course do it through, through here, but then you can only grant all the territory, which means we grant them all this, which we don't want to do. So this allows us to control it, obviously. We're using the console. And I do avoid using the console in my series, but for fixing peace treaties, I'll use it. Especially when this here was our own mistake, and this here doesn't make any damn sense. So we'll grant all this to Russia. Alright, so we gave them all that territory, turn the debug off, and we can now take a look at everything. So Japan has all this territory here. The United States have taken this, which makes sense. It's crop from Alaska here, so they have control of the Far East. Well, Japan has all this. And remember, this is all of the Japanese faction as well. This is what the Japanese faction looks like. What happened to Burma? So apparently Burma wasn't in any of those wars. Kind of like Pakistan wasn't, because they got freed from India, which is called Free India. And then they didn't get pulled in any of those wars. Same thing with Bangladesh. So they don't have, Japan does not have control of all that. But you can see this is what they look like here. And then they also have Norway and Sweden. And then of course all this territory here in the Americas, who joined their faction. So they're also in that Japanese faction. So that's the way Japan looks. And this is the way our faction looks. So basically the whole world has been split between two factions for the most part. You have a few independent countries out there. Spain, Australia. Australia is part of the Japanese faction, so they're not free. So not a lot. There's a few countries in the Americas. Yeah, a lot of countries are under our control here as well. The Americans have taken that over. Well, that's kind of weird. They just took this little patch of territory right there. Okay. Yeah, it's a little strange. But yeah, that's what happened. But yeah, that's what our faction looks like, guys. So Americans have a little bit of territory here that they took. Now they have the Philippines, obviously, that they started with, that they annexed. And then the islands here are probably split between the two. Yeah, between Japan and the United States. So most of Europe is in our hands. There's a few countries that didn't join the wars. You know, the Dutch. Denmark was in those wars, but never against us. And then Switzerland as well. And so we did not get control of those, and I don't really think it's worth continuing, you know, just to conquer those really quick. It's a foregone conclusion how those are going to go. So I don't really feel like it's worth doing all that. But yeah, we could, if we were to continue, you know, that you'd add those ones into your empire, and then also attack Spain here. Would be an obvious choice. You can get control of all this territory as well. Yeah, that's the current situation here in Europe, and the Black Sea is our sea. We have completely surrounded it. And this is what the Byzantine Empire looks like. So pretty powerful, far more powerful than the Byzantine Empire ever got historically. In fact, well, I was gonna say we're actually more powerful than Rome ever got. Kind of. I mean, obviously Rome had control of all Spain and France or Gaul at the time, and then, you know, up to here with the British Isles. But this is kind of in our control. You know, they're in our faction and they're puppets. So in a way, and we have territory that the Romans never got. We gotten further up along here than the Romans got. So yeah, that's the way Byzantine Empire looks. Of course, also these are all subjects too. We all know how the invasions of Germany went for the Romans. But yeah, we have control of all Germany. Got the Bohemian Empire over here. Not much of an empire, but sure, we'll let them call themselves that. Hellenic Poland's looking pretty powerful. And then we got the Baltic Unitary State here. That's in our control as well, as is Finland. Hellenic Finland is what it's called. And then, of course, here's Russia, which is also under control. So, I mean, when you count subjects, I mean, we're far more powerful than the Romans ever were. And so that's the way the map looks. Asia's kind of a mess. I mean, these are all technically under Japan in some form or fashion, but yeah, a little bit of a mess over here. Anytime if the AI gets involved in peace treaty, it's going to get messy. The United States has complete control of Canada and northern Mexico. They've also taken over several countries in the Caribbean. Then they have Venezuela. I mean, they've got a lot of little patches of land here. So yeah, the United States, Confederated United States of America. Confederated States of America is what they call themselves. And they're underneath William Dudley Helt. Is that Helly? Couldn't tell if that's a T. I think it's two L's. So Helly. And yeah, they're much more powerful as well. And then this is Nubia. Huh, how did Spain get control of that? Oh, I guess we never got to do that. Okay, my bad. I must have messed that up. So Spain got control of that instead. Alright, I didn't realize that. So that should have been ours. But I just missed it. And yeah, then you get a weird situation over here. But yeah, I got messed up because I just didn't free them, but we could have if we had done it. You got Hellenic Somalia over here. Of course, this we could free if we wanted to and give it back to Yemen. But yeah, they're not our factions. I don't know why we'd give it to them. Yeah, this is what Africa looks like. I thought we had also... Apparently I missed this too, or maybe the Germans had already taken it before I was able to. That's strange. Maybe I accidentally had Germany selected? Because yeah, they wouldn't have been able to take it. Because they wouldn't have been able to take it for themselves because they're a subject. So I'm not entirely sure what happened there. But yeah, they have some colonial territory now. Yeah, this is what Africa looks like. Spain has rebuilt their empire, you know, to a capacity. I mean, they obviously are... They've built more of an empire in Africa, I should say. Let's kind of clarify that. They haven't really rebuilt their empire. Yeah, this is the way the world looks, guys. Alright, so yeah, that will be the end of the series. It was a fun one. The Greeks start out incredibly weak. I was surprised with just how weak they were, because I had never played with this focus tree. I was very surprised with how weak the Greeks start. So yeah, we had a really bad starting situation. Took us a while to get going. But once we did, I mean, we conquered all this, but barely any units, guys. Look at what we ended with. Remember, a lot of these aren't ours, and they're crappy garrison units. We didn't have, I guess if you count these 5, if you were to add these 5 tanks into here, we had 3 full-size armies. Again, we had some training here, but most of these are also units we got from our subjects. So that's it. Only 3 full-size armies. We did all this with 3 armies. Again, we didn't do it alone. We had the Americans helping us, and everybody was at war with everybody, and I think that was the key. If this had gone differently, where you hadn't had such so many factions and such like evenly matched factions, which I thought was really cool. I'm glad the way it worked out. I thought that was a big part of the reason why the campaign was really fun, because you had these evenly matched factions going up against each other. So you had the Central Powers, who were quite powerful, as we've seen. They almost conquered Russia there. They were doing pretty good for a time. But yeah, you had Central Powers very powerful. You had the Allies were very powerful. Japan's faction was, powerful enough. Of course, once they got China, that really helped them out a lot. Then there was the Communist faction, and they were probably a little bit weaker because France fell pretty early. But yeah, they did have France. They had Mexico, and then of course they had the Soviet Union, a couple other countries. But yeah, they were probably one of the weaker factions. But yeah, you had some pretty evenly matched factions here. It was interesting with the Allies, with the British and the Italians, and then all those countries that joined their faction. So yeah, it was interesting because of the faction situation, I think. But yeah, if it hadn't been like that, if we would have been fighting, like, let's say if we would have had to fight one of those factions alone, just us, before we got the Americans in our faction, just Greece, probably not even Byzantine Empire yet. If it was just us against the Central Powers or the Allies, we would have not done so well. It would have been a much more difficult fight. Probably would have had to stick to the defense a lot more. Building fortifications, using the terrain to try and kill as many of our enemies as we could, and really just fighting until they went to war with somebody else, because I think we would have had a lot of trouble with the number of units we had and all the penalties we had. I think we'd had a lot of issues beating either the Allies or the Central Powers alone. So that played a key role in why we did do so well, is that everybody was always fighting all the other factions. So that was kind of a major component of our success here. But I thought that was really fun. I like when you have a bunch of factions fighting each other. It can be fun when you have 2 like huge factions going at each other as well. But when you have those situations where just factions picking on smaller groups and they're not really going against each other, or like one faction that's just overly powerful compared to the rest, then that's not as fun. Yeah, they had a fun focus tree. Again, they're just a very difficult country to start out as, and just, it's difficult to get through their tree as well. But yeah, it's a fun country to play. I definitely recommend it. Though a difficult country. So, yeah, it was a fun campaign. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. If you did, make sure you have a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. If you're wondering what we're going to be playing next, well, the next Paradox series that we're going to be doing is actually going to be with Stellaris. So Stellaris has an expansion that's going to be releasing here in a couple weeks. I think it's almost 3 weeks away. And so when that releases, we're going to start a series with that. I have not played Stellaris on the channel for a very long time. I've done 3 PC series and 1 on the console. And out of all my 3 series on PC, none of them did very well. And that's the reason why I stopped covering Stellaris. It's because it just didn't, it just never did well. I don't know if it's because, the viewers that subscribe to my channel, they're into more historical strategy games. And Stellaris obviously is not historical, and it's a very different game as well, in a sense. So maybe that's the reason why. But yeah, I just never had success with the PC series. The console series did all right, but I didn't really like the console version because it was so far back. They released, and they were missing all the expansions that it came out and all the features and mechanics. But despite the fact that it's never done well on the channel, it is one of my favorite Paradox games. I really enjoy it. I guess I like most of the Paradox games, but I really like Stellaris. And I've always thought about covering it again, and even if we just did like a short series of like 10 videos or something, because we didn't have enough viewers or whatever, it'd still be fun to do. And I'm kind of thinking about changing up what I do here on the channel a little bit, and kind of jumping between DLCs. for whatever Paradox releases. Wasn't really an option before because I only played HOI4 and then CK3 when it came out, and so that's just not enough DLCs to only play the new stuff. But yeah, Hearts of Iron 4 doesn't get as many views as it used to. It's a really old game. This game's been out for what, over 6 years. I think we're approaching 7 years in June. So the game's been out for a long time, and so it's understandable why there's not as much interest with it on YouTube as before. And also I've been playing it for a very long time. We've done like 40 something campaigns, maybe 50 campaigns. I don't know how many. We've played a lot of campaigns on the channel. So I understand why the viewers are not as interested unless we have like something new, a new DLC that comes out. You know, when the new expansions come out, those series do very well. But whenever I'm covering it where there's not a new DLC, I notice the views are much lower. And so rather than just covering CK3 and Hearts of Iron 4, I think we're going to work in other Paradox games. Obviously, Victoria 3 came out just recently. We've been playing that as well. But yeah, I think we're just going to cover all the Paradox games whenever DLCs release. So I'm talking about not just Stellaris, but another Paradox game that I stopped covering a while back. Not because it didn't do well, but because I wasn't enjoying some of the new stuff they had done with it, was EU4, Europa Universalis 4. So we've only done, I don't know, 3 campaigns on the channel for that game. And I'm thinking about going back to that as well. It's got an upcoming expansion. And so we'll see when that one releases because it doesn't have a date. We'll see where we're at on the Stellaris series because I expect it to be somewhere around there. But yeah, we'll maybe cover that one as well. So just cover all the Paradox games whenever DLC comes out. HOI4, CK3, EU4, Stellaris, and Victoria 3. And hopefully that'll give us enough to cover throughout the year if you're covering all the games. Because typically they release at least one DLC for each game every year. Some of them get 2 per year. HOI4 obviously is slower in development, much slower. You can compare it to Stellaris because Stellaris came out 1 month before HOI4. And just look how many more DLCs Stellaris has compared to HOI4. I don't think it's like intentional that they're releasing the expansion slower. I think it's just Hearts of Iron 4 is more difficult to develop for, particularly with the AI. I think they have a lot of problems with that. And it just seems like Paradox has had some issues with HOI4. But it's definitely not to do with the actual player base, because Hearts of Iron 4, I think, is the most played Paradox game on Steam when you look at the Steam numbers. And so it's a very, very popular game for Paradox, so I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it's just more difficult to develop for, to come up with mechanics and all that kind of stuff. And the AI. I think the AI is where they have a lot of issues. Just from my understanding, that's what it sounds like. They have some issues with AI, and we've seen that before. The AI is still kind of a mess. After all these years, still struggles. So given this game's age, rather than just playing this all the time, I think we're going to move around the Paradox games, guys. That's the plan. So play them as the DLCs come out. And obviously, if there's nothing out, then maybe we'll hop back into HOI4, CK3 or something, even when there's not a DLC, because I'd like to have stuff to play, obviously, on the channel. But yeah, we're gonna try this out, see how it works, kind of hop around the DLCs. And also, like with the Knights of Honor 2 or Humankind a little while back, I do like covering non-Paradox games as well. And so I think this format would allow me to do that more often. Constantly, just playing the same games all the time. And those non-Paradox games often do pretty well for the channel, bring a lot of new people in, and then they find the Paradox games, and then they like those, and so you're introducing people to Paradox, which is, primarily what I play. And so you're creating new viewers. So I like covering those other games too, because they often do well, and it's a nice change of pace too. And some of them can be really fun. I had fun with the Knights of Honor 2 game, and Humankind was a blast as well. I enjoyed that series too. And they both did well. Humankind not at first, that took a while, but yeah, eventually did well over time. But yeah, note that I said the Stellaris DLC doesn't come out for almost 3 weeks from now, so obviously it's going to be a while. So what are we going to be covering in the meantime? Well, we got a game I'm looking at starting a series with next week. I don't know when the series will start because I want to play a little bit beforehand to make sure that's something I want to cover. I got the code in the email, and it was a game I've been looking at for a while. I actually asked for the code a long time ago. It was supposed to come out like years ago, and then it kept getting delayed, and then you didn't hear anything from them for a year and a half. And I had asked for the code like 2 years ago, and then they just emailed it to me the other day. And so I'm thinking about covering that. I'm going to try it out, make sure it's something I want to cover, and make sure it's something that you guys would enjoy, and then I would enjoy. And if we decide not to cover that game, then we'd cover something else. Also, there's several videos that I'm wanting to do for a while that aren't Let's Plays, and I haven't had the time. And so I'd like to work those in before Stellaris releases too. So maybe expect that on the horizon. A lot of times I just can't do them because I'm doing the Let's Plays. I just don't have the time. So I'm hoping I should be able to do some of those videos before Stellaris releases. So yeah, we'll have some content coming up here, guys. It just isn't going to be Paradox content. Again, the next Paradox series will be that Stellaris one. That's the plan anyways. Also, as I said before, EU4 doesn't have a release date for its upcoming expansion, and so we'll have to wait and see when that one's coming out, because I'm looking at covering that too. But it might be a little while before we come back to Hearts of Iron 4, guys. Maybe after all that. I don't know. I don't know if they have any DLC announced yet. Yeah, they haven't announced anything. I don't even think they started on the developer diaries. Yeah, HOI4 doesn't have any dev diaries out, so I'm expecting the next HOI4 DLC probably won't be until late summer at the earliest. Yeah, maybe late summer at the earliest. Probably won't be until this fall, this autumn. So it's going to be a while before they have a DLC. Maybe if I have nothing else to cover, we'll just do a series. We'll come back to it, since that's obviously going to be a long time from now. I wouldn't want to not have any HOI4 at all for 6, 8 months, 9 months. So we'll see what happens, guys, with all the other DLCs. CK3 will likely have a DLC probably before Hearts of Iron 4, honestly. So we might go back to that too. Yeah, we'll just see what happens, guys. We'll just watch the Paradox forums and see what happens with the HOI4 DLC. But again, it's going to be a while before we come back to Hearts of Iron 4. I think probably the summer would be the earliest I'm expecting, because yeah, I think we'll have a lot of stuff to cover. There's a lot of games coming out as well that I'm kind of excited about. But this is going to be the end of this series. Again, I do hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I do hope to see you guys on another series, either that new game when we start that next week, if we start that next week, or one of those other videos I plan to doing, or if you just watch the Paradox stuff, then maybe you'll check out that Stellaris series. Maybe we can get some views on that, because Stellaris is a pretty fun strategy game. I like it a lot. Again, it's not a historical strategy game, but yeah, it's pretty fun, and the game has gotten so much new mechanics and features and stuff. So I'm looking forward to jumping back into that. I do hope to see you on one of those new series, and thanks for watching.